Hey everyone, today I'm super excited to be talking about the Goodreads Choice Awards. But before I get started, I just want to do a huge thank you to Andy over at Estella's Reads channel. Last week she did a shout out to my channel, and I just want to say thank you for all the nice things you said, and thank you to all the new subscribers. For me, it's never about subscriber count, but it is fantastic to have people to just discuss my favorite books with. I love hearing recommendations and what other people thought about the same books that I'm interested in, and it's just fantastic to feel part of the community. So thank you to everyone. And let's get started talking about the Goodreads Choice Awards. So Monday morning I woke up super excited because I knew the first round of voting was open and I wanted to see which books were up in which category. So I don't know if anyone else was as crazy excited as I was, but I was like waiting for Monday morning. I was so excited, and whoever is that excited for Monday morning. But it was great. The only bad thing is that I realized that I didn't read that many books that came out in 2013. Oops. And the same thing happened to me last year. I realized that I tend to read books that are kind of a couple years old. Maybe once I get a lot of hype and I hear more reviews of them, I become more interested in them. So in the future, I'm going to make it a goal to actually be reading more current books as they're coming out, just because I love the Goodreads Awards so much. But it's really hard to participate if you haven't read the books. Now, I had read a couple books that came out this year. The first, of course, in the memoir section, and everyone knows what I'm talking about, is A House in the Sky by Amanda Lindhout. And so I voted for that one, absolutely loved it. The other category I could vote in was the mystery / I think suspense category. And I'd read The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, of course, who's actually J.K. Rowling. And I'd also read 6 Years by, I think it's Harlan Coben. And I didn't like 6 Years that much, so I didn't want to give it my vote. And I'm still torn over whether or not to vote for The Cuckoo's Calling. It was a good mystery, but I don't know if it was really the best one of the year. The other book that interested me in that category was The Night Film, which I've heard amazing things about, but I haven't read yet. So I almost think that might be a better choice for this award, just because I think that Cuckoo's Calling was okay, but not that great. I think it was good, but I just don't know if it was like book of the year. So out of all the books that are being nominated, I was really only eligible to vote in those two categories. However, I did notice a couple things that really got me thinking, and I want to hear other people's opinions. And first, I noticed that even if I hadn't read any of the books in the category, I was still eligible to vote on whatever book I felt like. And I don't really think that's fair, because if I haven't read anything in the category, then why should I be giving a vote to any of those books? Because I don't know if they're good or not. So I almost think they should set it up that unless you have the book marked as read, they let you view the category, but they don't actually let you vote in it, just because that doesn't seem fair. And my other thought was that I feel like you almost need to have read at least 2 or 3 books in that category to actually have a good say on which is the best book out of that group. Because say if I've only read one fantasy book, if I thought it was a pretty good fantasy book, I'm pretty likely to vote for it just because it's the only way I can help with that selection. But I don't know, is that the best fantasy book out there? If it's the only fantasy book I've read that year, how do I know it's that good? And so I kind of got thinking about that. Like, for instance, I looked at the young adult category, and I do have a copy of The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey, so I could rush and read that, but it's the only book in the category I would have read. So is this better than The Darkest Mind or Steelheart? I don't know, because I haven't read anything else. I haven't even read this one yet, but even if I did read it, I wouldn't have anything to base a comparison on. So I always think like you need to, like maybe they need to change it up so that you have to have read at least a couple books in the category to actually get a vote. Of course, I know people could cheat and pretend that they read books that they didn't just to get their votes in. So I don't know if it's really worth doing it that way. And I suppose it is somewhat just a popularity vote. So I'm just kind of curious what other people think. Do you kind of put value into the awards? If you go, oh, this was the category winner, are you more likely to read it? And how many books in the categories have you read? Are you kind of in the same boat as me and you're terribly behind and feeling a little left out? Or hopefully you were a little bit more on par and actually kind of read as the books came out this year? I'm just curious to know what you think. I did order a few books from the library that I'm hoping will come in before the final round of voting. I ordered Fangirl as well as Vicious and The Ghost Bride. So I'm hoping if some of those come in soon and I can kind of rush and read a couple of those, I might be able to vote in some of the semifinals. I'm not too sure, but definitely I'm hoping. I don't know, I find the awards so fun and I just want to participate. So please let me know your thoughts. Hopefully you're having more luck getting your votes in because you actually read what you were supposed to read this year, or at least are more timely in your reading than I was. Either way, hope you're having a good night. That's about it. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.